What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to defeat the upcoming 7-star Hisuian Typhlosion raid in just the first term. This is going to be the ultimate farming method to get all of the drops from tera shards, money items, and even ability patches. And this is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Of course, guys, like this type of content, enjoy these videos. Please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below. Now, a quick breakdown of this Typhlosion. The important things to understand for this strategy is, one, it is Tera Fire, so we're going to be having to use a Pokemon that's either water, rock, or ground to do that stab super effective damage to it. Of course, water has a huge advantage because the rain exists. That's going to give water moves a 50% additional damage. Also allows us to resist fire moves by a 50% reduction as well, which is really nice. And that special attack of 119 is definitely going to be absolutely massive. So we're going to have to rely on the item Focus Sash so our Pokemon don't necessarily die on the first turn. Our supporters, a bit more of a glass cannon, at least for some of them. However, as long as they survive, this strategy will work and Focus Sash will allow that to occur. Now, the big thing that we need to outspeed is 95. 95 speed on the Hisuian Typhlosion, assuming he's going to have perfect speed IVs as well. So you want to use a Pokemon that has at least perfect IVs and speed, but also has higher than base 95 speed. And we actually have a perfect candidate for that. So this Typhlosion won't have a chance of actually ruining our strategy. And the probably only scary moves I could see occur on turn 0 would be like an Eruption if it does have that. But I do feel like after looking at the Hisuian Decidueye raid, probably not going to have a turn 0 move and probably have like a turn 1 move, then maybe like an interrupt in between turn 1 and 2. So for turn 0, I'm not afraid of anything. Don't think it's going to have one in general, but we shall see. And now for our Pokemon builds. And I had this cooked up for a while. Ever since that Hisuian Decidueye raid was cooked up, I figured out what the next 3 probably would be. And with Tauros here, making a return for the 1-turn KO. But this time it's the Aqua Bred Tauros. So the Violet players do have an advantage here. But you should definitely have both of the Tauros because they're both phenomenal for these types of 1-turn KOs. Now, the Water Tauros is going to be holding the item Choice Band. And we're going to go Max Attack, Adamant Nature. Up to you if you want to do Max HP or Max Speed. Doesn't really matter because we do naturally outspeed. We are base 100 while the Hisuian Typhlosion is base 95. Of course, perfect IVs. So there's no chance that the Hisuian Typhlosion will ever outspeed us. I just have max speed, but you can go max HP. That's going to be up to you. Now, you want to have the ability Anger Point. Anger Point allows you to get hit by a critical hit and then get +6 to your attack. So it's going to maximize your attack, which is going to be absolutely great. So on turn 1, we can crit on ourselves and then guarantee us doing the biggest amount of damage possible. And the one move that matters is Wave Crash. Now, Wave Crash is there's a water type Flare Blitz, essentially. It's going to allow us to do a massive amount of damage. It's going to hit incredibly hard, especially at that +6. And that stab, super effective, and the Choice Band on top of that. Now, Tauros does need some friends in order for this strategy to work. And the PAL that we're going to be using here is going to be Meowscarada. Now, I need to mention that this Meowscarada needs to be level 36. It needs to be level 36. If your Meowscarada is not level 36, then you're not going to be able to do this strategy right because we don't want to kill our Tauros. Now, you want to have the item Focus Sash, and you want to have max HP and max speed. Doesn't actually really matter because you have Focus Sash, but you definitely don't want any attack investment, right? And mine even has a minus attack nature. So you want to have a level 36 Meowscarada with a minus attack nature. Your ability doesn't necessarily matter too much. That's whatever. And you're going to have the move Flower Trick. And you learn this at level 36 when you evolve. So this is the lowest possible level that you can have a Meowscarada with Flower Trick, which is why I say use level 36. We're going to use Flower Trick in the Tauros. Yes, it's stab, super effective, and a critical hit. But because we have no attack investment, we are minus attack nature, and we're level 36, it's probably going to do maybe about like 10 to 20% damage on the Tauros. Fine, because Tauros, as long as Tauros lives, it doesn't matter. And because he outspeeds the Typhlosion, Typhlosion should not be able to hit us first, especially that we have max speed IV and we are base 100 speed stat overall. So now, how do we make sure that this kill actually goes through? Well, Politoed is going to be an absolutely phenomenal choice that most people can pick up to use in this raid. Now, you can also use Kyogre if you have Kyogre. You can also use Pelipper if you have Pelipper. I'll say this, Pelipper has a lot less bulk than Politoed in general, and I'll say that Politoed is also just a phenomenal support in this if you're to raid online. So I would say it's worth investing in a Politoed. If you have a Kyogre, they both do the same thing in this role. Now, we're going to have Focus Sash here, and we're going to have our ability Drizzle. Now, Drizzle makes it so it rains in battle. As I mentioned before, the rain will allow Wave Crash to do an additional 50% damage as well. And this is going to take place on turn 0 when the Politoed comes out. So we don't have to worry about using Rain Dance. We just have to come out and use that Drizzle. And of course, I'm going to be running that max HP, max special defense with a Calm Nature, which is minus attack plus special defense. But we have Focus Sash, so we're going to pretty much live no matter what, especially with that rain up. Now, all we're going to have to do on the Politoed / Pelipper / Kyogre player is just to use Helping Hand. And you want to use the Helping Hand on the Tauros. This is going to further increase the damage of the attack for that turn. And that's very important. And I'm not really worried about the Politoed player. They're just going to have a lot of bulk. So very easy job. Nothing to worry about here. And now somehow an even easier job is just going to be Stonejourner. With Focus Sash, of course. Without Focus Sash, we'll probably perish. But that's okay. Because Stonejourner has the ability Power Spot, which is essentially giving everyone on the team a free Life Orb boost. Just for existing. And then you're just going to hit Attack Shear. That's all you need to do with Stonejourner. I'll say this once again, everyone should probably build a Stonejourner. Incredibly easy. It doesn't even need to be level 100 either. You can just use a freshly caught one and just put Focus Sash on it, because every single Stonejourner always has Power Spot, even its hidden abilities Power Spot. So this is definitely the easiest support Pokemon here to build if you're going to do this raid strat with a couple of people. And of course, I'm going to be doing this strategy in our Discord server as well during this live event weekend. So definitely join the Discord for free there. And now for our infographic, very easy. And feel free to share this with people. Just take a nice screenshot here. But it's super simple to run this for the one-turn Hisuian Typhlosion strat. So we're going to have Tauros with a Choice Band using Wave Crash. And with the ability Anger Point, we're going to allow the level 36 Meowscarada with a minus attack nature to use a Flower Trick into the Tauros. And that's going to proc the Anger Point to give us that +6 attack. Very important to have that Focus Sash because we're not going to survive any hit without that. Then we have Stonejourner, which is the easiest job. All they got to do is come out with the ability Power Spot, which we already have, with a Focus Sash so they survive any hit, and then use Attack Cheer to boost the damage to the Tauros even further. And then you're going to use one of the Drizzle Mons, either Politoed, Kyogre, or Pelipper. They actually all know Helping Hand, so it really is up to you in this case, which I think is really cool. And we're going to have the item Focus Sash on them just in case, but they probably should survive anyways. But if you want the most bulk, it's going to be Kyogre, then Politoed, then Pelipper in terms of bulk. And yeah, they just come out. Drizzle appears on turn 0, Helping Hand into the Tauros to maximize that damage. And of course, the rain is going to further boost the damage of that Tauros as well. Now, I always try to prepare for the worst on this channel. There are a couple other strategies that work at times 30 HP, but they don't work on times 35. But this is guaranteed to work at times 35 HP for the Hisuian Typhlosion. So that's going to be a max attack, which is +6, 252 attack, Adamant Nature, Choice Band, Tauros, Water, Paldea, with Helping Hand, with Attack Cheer, with 1 Power Spot boost into a Wave Crash against the Fire Typhlosion that has times 35 HP in the rain. And this is going to do 122 to 144% of its max life, making it a guaranteed one-hit KO on the first turn. So feel free to share this. We're going to be doing this in the Discord server, of course. We're going to be doing this live on stream as well this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see you guys there. And of course, guys, if you haven't liked the video already, please leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.